I am in the book of Exodus in my daily Bible reading. I'm at the part where God gives his people a long list of laws. These weren't random rules. They were designed to preserve justice, protect the innocent, and teach Israel how to love in every situation. Every detail mattered, from how to settle disputes, to how to treat strangers, to how to make things right when someone had been wronged. When we read the New Testament, we notice something very different. We don't see the same kind of exhaustive list for every possible wrong. We don't find retribution spelled out for lying, stealing, cheating, or physically harming someone. And sometimes, if we're honest, we think it might be easier to live under a system where everything is laid out in black and white. We know exactly what to do, what happens if we fail, and exactly what is expected of us. I think that's why we sometimes long for laws, because they make the expectations clear. But history shows us we couldn't keep that kind of law perfectly. We fail under that system. So, does the grace we live under now mean God doesn't care as much about our behavior or how we administer justice? Does it mean we're free to live without a standard because the New Testament doesn't address sin in the same way the Old Testament did? Hardly. In fact, if we belong to Christ, we live under a greater calling. Jesus doesn't have to outline every possible wrong or prescribe every consequence. He sums up the whole law in one sentence: you shall love your neighbor as yourself. Matthew 22:39 ESV. We are members of a royal priesthood, children of God, fellow heirs with King Jesus. Scripture even says we will judge angels and rule with him when he returns. That kind of identity changes the way we live. In the Old Testament, the question might have been, what does the law require of us? But in the kingdom of heaven, the question is, how can we reflect the glory and justice of our King? When we offend someone, we seek to make it right, not because the law forces us to, but because grace compels us to. God is transforming us into the image of his Son. The law is written on our hearts now, Hebrews 8:10. So we live not for fear of punishment, but out of love for the one who saved us. We don't need a rule that says, don't harm your neighbor. We simply don't, because it's not what our King desires. We spend time in prayer and in his word, and we grow in wisdom that teaches us how to love well. As citizens of the kingdom, we bear a higher standard than God's children under the old covenant. We seek good, we carry one another's burdens, Galatians 6:2. We let our yes be yes, Matthew 5:37. We treat others better than ourselves, Philippians 2:3. And we seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, Matthew 6:33. We are image bearers of our Creator, and the way we live should make that clear to everyone who sees us. We'd love to hear how this encourages you today. Feel free to share a reflection so we can all grow together.